Nuclear material security hit a turning point on June 22, 2025 at dawn Iran time. US bombers dropped bunker-buster bombs on Iran's nuclear sites at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. The Pentagon said these places suffered sustained, severe damage and destruction. Now we face a worrying situation where this military action might have created risks linked to unsecured nuclear material. The three sites held uranium enriched to various levels. This raises big questions about who will guard these materials and stop scenarios where stolen or lost nuclear material in transit could pose a threat to global security. Despite claims that the US obliterated the sites, history shows us that securing nuclear material after a change in regime or military action presents huge challenges. In fact, even with South Africa's government on board, the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, needed 19 years to confirm the end of their nuclear program. In contrast, when Libya's Muammar Gaddafi gave up nuclear ambitions in 2003, US and British experts rushed in to take apart its industrial base. As we look at what happened after these strikes, the risk of loose nuclear material ending up in terrorist hands stays high until someone can secure and take it out of Iran. The Pentagon started Operation Midnight Hammer against Iran's nuclear sites on June 22nd. This action showed a big increase in military moves against Tehran's nuclear program. The US carried out a huge attack using over 125 military planes. 7 B-2 stealth bombers dropped 14 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator bunker-buster bombs on Fordow and Natanz. The US also fired more than 24 Tomahawk missiles from submarines at surface targets in Isfahan. Satellite images showed at least 6 big craters at Fordow. The impact holes had odd shapes, hinting that several weapons hit the same exact spots. At Natanz, 2 new craters appeared, one about 5.5 meters wide. The Isfahan site had at least 18 buildings that were destroyed in photos taken after the strikes. President Trump called the strikes a spectacular military success. He said,
"Iran's main nuclear enrichment sites are now wiped out."
He also gave a strong warning.
Iran will have peace, or it will face much worse tragedy than what we've seen in the past 8 days. Keep in mind, we still have many targets,
Trump
said in his White House speech.
He added,
"If peace doesn't come soon, we'll hit those other targets with accuracy, quickness, and expertise."
Later, Secretary of State Marco Rubio explained that they didn't plan more attacks unless Iran struck back. General Dan Kane, who heads the Joint Chiefs of Staff, said that early reports show all 3 sites suffered major damage and were wiped out. Rafael Grossi, who leads the International Atomic Energy Agency, pointed out that the Natanz site had been wiped out. Despite the strikes, Iranian officials tried to minimize their effects. Abbas Araghchi, Iran's foreign minister, cautioned that the attacks will have everlasting consequences. What's more, a high-ranking Iranian source stated that they had relocated most of the enriched uranium from Fordow to a secret site before the attack happened. The IAEA noted no rise in radiation levels outside the facilities, though experts think the strikes could slow down Iran's nuclear program. As one official pointed out, it's going to take a very long time before the Iranians can develop a nuclear weapon. After the destructive attacks on Iran's nuclear sites, the world now focuses on a crucial issue. Who will take charge of the nuclear material left at the damaged places? Rafael Grossi, who heads the International Atomic Energy Agency, has sounded the alarm about a major drop in nuclear safety and security at the hit locations. The IAEA faces big problems in keeping an eye on Iran's nuclear program. A few days before the attacks, the agency's board said Iran wasn't following its non-proliferation rules for the first time in 20 years. Grossi admitted that inspectors couldn't tell if Iran's nuclear program was peaceful. Right now, the agency works with fewer staff in Iran because of safety worries, but inspectors are ready to go to nuclear sites when they can. The IAEA states that no radiation leaks have affected the public, but chemical contamination inside the damaged facilities could cause major problems if inhaled or ingested. Grossi keeps stressing that nuclear facilities and material must not be shrouded by the fog of war. US officials haven't shown any plans to send ground troops to secure the nuclear materials. This differs from the Libya case mentioned before. At the same time, the IAEA warns that more military action might slow down crucial diplomatic work to prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons. The lack of a security force opens up a dangerous gap where nuclear material might get stolen or go missing during transport. Still, Grossi believes a diplomatic solution is within reach if the necessary political will is there. As Iran and Western powers grow more hostile, experts think a neutral third party could help secure the leftover nuclear material. People are warming up to the idea of India acting as a neutral handler, which might lead to countries working together. Any fix needs what Grossi calls a watertight inspection system. Before the attacks, the IAEA said Iran had stored 400 kilograms of enriched uranium. This material must now be tracked to stop disastrous spread scenarios. Previous examples of nuclear disarmament offer essential background to grasp the obstacles we face regarding Iran's nuclear resources. South Africa is the first country ever to take apart its homegrown nuclear weapons. This started in 1989, when the government, expecting a shift to majority rule, chose to stop its nuclear weapons program. In 1991, South Africa joined the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which began official checks. By August 1994, the International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed that 6 complete nuclear weapons and 1 built weapon had been taken apart. This check was just one step in a long process. After that, South Africa became part of the Nuclear Suppliers Group in April 1995 and played a key role in creating the African Nuclear Weapon Free Zone Treaty in 1996. On the other hand, Libya took a very different approach to nuclear disarmament. After private talks with the US and UK, Libya said it would stop its program to make weapons of mass destruction on December 19, 2003. Unlike South Africa, which handled things on its own, Libya let American and British experts come in and take away equipment and materials. This quick process left many Libyan officials feeling cheated and humiliated, based on interviews from 2005 to 2006. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi said one tough thing to think about was the chance that giving up nuclear goals could leave the government open to the West, trying to change who was in charge. Worries that came true during the 2011 uprising. These examples shed light on several key takeaways. First, even when countries cooperate like South Africa did checking, everything takes careful, slow work. Second, trust plays a crucial yet delicate role. Libya's situation shows how feeling betrayed can turn a win into a warning. Third, getting rid of weapons always involves tricky political math beyond just technical stuff. Zrania, as Robert Kelly, who worked on both projects, points out, each disarmament case needs different tools and approaches based on its own unique setup. The theft of nuclear material poses a serious worldwide security risk that needs to be dealt with right away. What's worrying is that from 1993 to 2021, countries told the IAEA Incident and Trafficking Database about 630 thefts of radioactive stuff, with 310 of these happening while it was being moved. Even worse, in 57% of these cases, people haven't found the stolen radioactive materials yet. Nuclear security faces its biggest challenge during transport. In fact, thieves steal almost half of all radioactive materials while they're being moved. Rafael Grossi, who heads the IAEA, pointed out that even though no one has been hurt by radioactive materials in transit, we need to stay alert because of how often they get stolen. Right now, about 20 million shipments of nuclear and other radioactive materials cross borders or move within countries each year.
When we move these materials, there are many things to keep track of, which makes them tempting for thieves or saboteurs,
says David Ladsus, who leads the Transport Security Unit at the IAEA. The changing nature of transport creates weak spots where even a small bump in traffic could bring everything to a standstill. The terrorist threat is real. Terror groups like Al-Qaeda have shown they want to get nuclear weapons. Keep in mind that with just 25 kilograms of enriched uranium, which can fit in a suitcase, terrorists could build a nuclear weapon. This weapon could cause destruction similar to the bombs used at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Around the world, there are 2,000 metric tons of nuclear material that can be used for weapons. Some of this material isn't well protected. Several security failures show this risk. For example, in 2007, armed intruders broke into a nuclear facility in South Africa. Global agreements provide ways to deal with these risks. The CPPNM and its 2005 update. The update makes it a legal requirement for countries to guard nuclear sites and materials at home, in storage, and during transport. The Treaty Against Nuclear Terrorism, active since July 2007, tackles crimes linked to illegal ownership and use of radioactive stuff. Also, UN Security Council resolutions 1373, 2001 and 1540, 2004 push for worldwide teamwork against nuclear terror threats. As a result, experts stress that safeguarding these materials needs two-way and multi-country cooperation among big nuclear nations. Looking at what happened after these attacks, we face new challenges for global nuclear safety. Destroying Iran's main nuclear sites met short-term military goals but created a dangerous gap where nuclear materials could end up in the wrong hands. Also, South Africa and Libya show us that securing and taking apart nuclear programs takes a lot of time, money, and help from other countries, even when things go. Despite claims of total destruction, things are much more complicated. The IAEA's smaller presence in Iran, plus America not wanting to send in troops, creates a perfect mix for possible spread of nuclear materials. On top of that, scary numbers on nuclear material theft, especially during moves, show we need better safety rules. Moving forward, we must balance immediate safety worries with long-term checking needs. Above all, this situation shows that military action alone can't solve nuclear spread issues. Instead, a team effort from many countries, including neutral parties, tough inspections, and talks, is the only way to fix things for good. While the attacks might have slowed down Iran's nuclear plans, they also brought new and dangerous unknowns. If this breakdown opened your eyes to what's going on in the world right now, hit that like button and subscribe to get more deep dives into military stuff that goes beyond the headlines to show you what's happening on the ground. Until we know where every bit of nuclear material is and have it locked up, the world is racing against time. If we fail and terrorists get nuclear material, it would be too awful to think about. So, world leaders must act together and right away to stop what could be one of the worst safety failures in history.